If you are afraid to invest in a side hustle without seeing guaranteed results back, this video is for you, because I'm going to break down how you can start your side hustle or online business without fear of losing. I will be explaining to you why having a long-term vision is so important. I'm going to give you 7 reasons or 7 points of value on how you can actually start without having that fear of losing or wasting time and money. And I'm also going to tell you 3 things that you should avoid doing when you're starting an online business, so that by the end of this video, you will have the confidence to actually start an online side hustle without being afraid of not seeing that guaranteed result. Because what I've seen from working with over hundreds of people one-on-one starting their YouTube automation channel is that almost everyone is afraid to invest time, money, and energy into something without knowing if they're gonna get results back from it. And of course, it's very scared to jump in the dark and start something without knowing if it's gonna work out, especially because we live in a world where it appears that everyone online is making $10,000 a month, even more, within their first few weeks of starting something out. Because even when you know that getting results takes time, your brain is programmed to wanting to see results immediately. And when you actually start and those results do not show up immediately, you immediately start second guessing yourself. So if you have ever been afraid of starting that online business, actually making that side hustle work, then this video is gonna be for you, because now I'm gonna dive into the 7 practical points of value of how you can actually start when you have this feeling of being afraid. And one way you can look at this before we get into the 7 points is by seeing an online business or a side hustle as a garden where you are growing seeds or plants. So let's say for me, YouTube automation, which I do, you start by getting your seeds together and planting them. So these are like your videos ideas. Then you start preparing the soil to make your plants grow quick and strong, which would be your systems, your workflows, your ideas. And then you start planting. So you plant one or multiple seeds at a time, and you wait for them to grow so that you can reap the rewards when they have grown strong. This is the same with YouTube or most other online businesses. You start putting in the work and the actions that eventually will grow bigger and get you the results that you are looking for. You never plant a seed and expect a tree or even a big plant to be standing there tomorrow ready with fruits to bear that you can then gather and eat or sell. The same applies to your business. You have to give it time to grow. And it might look like nothing is happening sometimes, but under the surface, under the ground, the roots are forming and the foundation is growing. And just like that with YouTube in this case, every video you plant is a seed you plant, and that starts growing over time under the ground. And maybe it's not visible right now, but you have to trust the process of that growing into a big tree. The early growth happens below the surface. And if you give up before that seed sprouting or that video taking off, then you will never see the results that you've worked for. So you need to keep on planting, you need to keep watering and keep nurturing your garden and your seeds, or you will never see the entire harvest. So it all comes down to actually planting the seed and starting out, because you will never be able to reap the rewards if you do not start sowing today. So let's dive in the 7 practical rules to shift your mindset and actually starting. And number 1 is redefining what a result actually is. Because when you start, let's say, a YouTube automation channel, it's easy to say, hey, I want to make $10,000 a month. And if your first few videos do not go viral, you might get demotivated already because they don't get views and get no money. But instead of only thinking about getting those views and getting this money, you have to think about building the foundation for your channel. Think about your systems, your workflows, your teams, your niche research. It's all a learning process, and your first 5 or 10 videos might look very bad, and that's okay, but you have to put in the reps to start understanding the game. So instead of only thinking about the money, redefine what those wins and results are. So think about how many niches you have found in a day, maybe how many viral titles or hooks you have written, maybe how many voiceovers you have recorded, maybe how quickly you edited your video, or how much better your branding has become over time. Because when you start redefining your results, soon enough you will realize that you actually made way more progress than you initially thought. Because according to James Clear, you do not rise to the levels of your goals, but you fall to the levels of your system. Tip number 2 is setting a time-bound experiment window. So most people give up because they test a channel and test a niche or test a business, and they try putting out some, let's say, videos, and nothing really happens yet. And then they lose motivation because they don't see the results they were hoping for. So see your side hustle as a time-bound experiment. For example, say that for the coming 90 days, every single day I'm going to upload a video or do something else for my business without having high expectations of earning money or seeing these kinds of results, but just put in the reps without expecting to see the results immediately. So in case of YouTube, you can say the next 90 days, every single day or every other day, I'm gonna upload 1 video to my channel. And I can tell you one thing, if you do this for 90 days, you will have done more than over 80% of people who actually start a side hustle or online business, because most people give up within 10 videos. And this technique really helps you to take the pressure off seeing instant results from every action that you do. You start thinking about, what did I learn in this experiment? What did improve here? Did I get momentum or traction? And why did I get that or not get that? So if you implement this strategy, the output or the goal becomes learning the business that you get into instead of doing it only for the money. And that just reduces the expectations of instant results. Tip number 3 is focusing on systems and not on outcomes. Now, of course, the outcomes is what we do it for in the end, and it's very tempting to focus on the views or the revenues or the virality of your channel and the subscribers you get and the likes you get and the positive comments. But unfortunately, the external outcomes is something that you cannot really control, especially when you are starting out. And if you do this, it will lead to burnout and disappointment. Now, something that you do have control over is your internal systems. So what is your niche research strategy? What is your viral title research method? How do you make your scripts? How do you make your voiceovers and your video editing or your thumbnail? So focus on getting better at these tasks. And then if you have the systems for these and say, okay, on Monday I spent 3 hours writing scripts. Tuesday I make the voiceovers from those scripts. Wednesday I edit the videos. You put in a system that creates outputs without focusing on just the views from you refreshing your YouTube Studio dashboard all the time. This is your momentum engine. And if you follow and focus on making a habit out of fueling that engine and giving the momentum, the results will come naturally. When you focus on refining this system, you will naturally become more consistent, confident, and efficient. And then the results will come automatically. Eric Thomas said it best. He said, fall in love with the process and the results will follow. Now, tip number 4 is starting with low stake investments. A big reason fear can creep in when you're starting something new is thinking that you have to take huge leaps from the start on and invest in the most expensive gear and the best quality materials, softwares, and systems. But you do not have to. Especially with YouTube automation nowadays, with AI tools, you can literally start a channel for less than $100 a month if you get some AI tools and put in the work to make videos and learn the systems and the content production by yourself. You can always scale up later, but you do not have to invest a lot to start nowadays. You also do not need expensive freelancers to make your videos like you had to do in the past. You can make your scripts for free with something like ChatGPT. You can make your voiceovers with 11 Labs, which is like $20 a month. You can make your video edits using AI image generation, which is usually like $10 or $15 a month, and something like CapCut, which has a free version too to edit videos. Thumbnails can be made for free in Canva, or you can use AI tools again, which are like $10, $15 a month. And these together cost you less than $100 to start your channel with. So invest in your habits before you start investing in high-end tools, softwares, or freelancers. This way you bet on your skills and a proven system instead of external factors. Now, tip number 5 is building in public or in a community. Because building alone can make your fear feel louder when you are the only one watching and looking at your project. If you are the only one that's looking at your videos and your views, it's very easy to say, hey, this is not working, I suck, I'm bad at this. But if you have other people invested, watching and working, you can get motivation from them too. For every single business model out there, there's countless of school or Reddit communities or Facebook groups where you can join, share your journey and progress, and also see other people share their journey and progress to feel inspired and to also see that not everyone sees crazy results from the start. A lot of people fail when they're starting. And if you get this perspective in from them, you also have less pressure on your own progress. These free groups are great to get encouraged when you're not seeing the results that you want. get accountability from others working on the same project, and prove that others people are probably in the same messy phase as you are in. You are not alone in doing this. Now, quick shameless plug, I have a free YouTube automation community, the 5-day Faceless YouTube Challenge. You can join it by clicking the link in the description. We have over 1,000 members working on their YouTube automation business. You can connect with people in the community, you can ask me questions and come on live calls, and you have a 5+ hour step-by-step course in a challenge format that helps you going from start to having a Faceless YouTube automation channel working for you. Now, tip number 6 is tracking invisible progress. The most frustrating feeling you can have when starting any business or a YouTube automation channel is giving inputs but not seeing the views or revenue in return yet. Especially when you put a lot of time in, let's say, making a video, you work on the script, you edit the video, make a voiceover, and then you upload it and there's no views coming. You are refreshing your YouTube dashboard, but nothing is showing for your hard worked effort. And this is because you're only tracking the visible metrics. But again, what you should focus on, what we talked before already, is also tracking your invisible wins. Like how many scripts you wrote today, how quickly did you write those scripts, how do you feel about the titles that you find for those scripts, how are you feeling about the niche that you're working in right now, how many niches did you find today. These are the quiet victories that create the loud results. And I would recommend you having an Excel sheet in which you can track how many of these tasks you do every single day that you can cross off, so you feel as if you are getting stuff done, which you are getting, but you're just not seeing the views or the money from it in return yet. I also have one of those progress tracker Excel templates in my school community. So again, join it if you want access to that one. Now, tip number 7 is remembering that delayed results are very normal for whatever you are starting, because every successful entrepreneur or creator went through a startup phase and stretch where they felt like what they were doing was not paying off and no one was seeing it anyway. So what separates them from everyone else? The only difference is that they kept on going anyway, because they knew that if they just keep on going and keep on giving the inputs, the rewards would come to them, because the rewards always lag behind the inputs that you give. And again, this is very true for YouTube automation too. I've seen a lot of people start and scale their channels, and where most people go wrong is giving up within 5, 10 or 15 videos, where most people actually do see success, see that after a second or third channel, after posting more than 50 total videos, where they really understand the game, the scripts, the videos, the niches, and they get better and better at refining their skills. You shouldn't see this startup phase as like a failure. Your video gets no views, oh, it's a failure. No, it's learning how the game works and getting better at it, and then the results will come eventually. Tim Ferriss had a really good quote on this, saying that it's not that successful people are fearless, but the thing with successful people is that they act despite of being afraid. And I think a lot of people starting YouTube automation can learn from this. Start your channel, just dive in, start making your videos. Don't focus on the views and the revenue immediately, but just refine your skills and get better at the whole system of posting and finding videos. Now that we went over the 7 things that you should focus on when you are afraid to start and invest in a new online business, let's talk about the 3 things that you should avoid doing when you're starting your new online business or side hustle. So number 1 is do not judge too early. You also wouldn't start a book and finish after the first 3 pages claiming that you understood the whole story, right? Same with an online business or YouTube. You cannot judge a channel after posting 3 or 4 videos. It wouldn't be fair. So again, treat your videos as planting the seeds that we talked about earlier that will grow over time, or see it as a gym rep. You don't immediately see the gains from your gym reps, but over time it stacks up and you get bigger and bigger. Focus on building speed, strategy, and systems that will get you ahead and that you get better at over time, not on the end result. Now, number 2 that you should avoid always, don't expect passive income before active outputs. So yeah, everyone wants to live the dream, start a side hustle, make over $10,000 a month passively while sipping coconuts on the beach. That unfortunately is not usually a reality, or at least not for people starting out the first few months or even years. For something to become passive, you will have to put in a lot of active work first in dialing in the systems, hiring your team, getting the cash flow set up, and making the business run smooth. So focus on building that machine. For YouTube, that would be how to find your niche and run the channel, how to write your scripts, the frameworks and the SOPs for that, hiring a team and managing a team, testing thumbnails, how do you make your videos. These are all things that you have to learn before you can outsource and make it passive. The problem with trying to make everything passive from the start is, number one, you drain your money fast because you're hiring a lot of people to do things that you should be doing right now. And number two, the people that you hire probably won't do their job very well because you yourself don't even know how to do the job properly. So how are you going to hire someone and teach someone to do that job for you? Passive income is the reward for active mastery. Remember that. Now, number three, the thing that you should avoid when starting something new is do not build in silence by yourself. Because when you are in a vacuum, every little bump feels like a huge failure. And that way you start second guessing everything. And you do not have the perspective that a lot of your peers are probably in the same spot where you are. Most people are in that beginning phase and failing and trying things and testing things. You might start questioning yourself. Why is this video good enough? Why is no one liking my video? Why do I not get pushed by the algorithm? Why is no one liking? And worst of all, does this even work? Or am I just wasting my time and money here? So yeah, the doubt shrinks when you are surrounded by other people that are also in those learning and failing forward phases. Because all big things come from small beginnings. The seed of every habit is one tiny steps. James Clear said this in Atomic Habits. So yeah, you might not see the payoff right away, but that does not mean that your effort is in vain. Remember that. It means that you are still building the foundation, the systems, the strategy, and the know-how of your business model. The fear of wasted effort is normal to have, but the fear of regret of not doing something will last forever. So I hope this was valuable. Let me know in the comments which of those tips you are going to apply immediately, and maybe if I missed something, also let me know. Also, if this is clear to you and you want to start, but you're still a bit overwhelmed on where to actually start, watch the video in screen here now, because I covered how you can actually get over that overwhelm and fear or indecision of starting and just having a clear roadmap on how to start. So click this video if you want to see that.